This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and I rambled and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was singing, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
As plans were made to celebrate the nation's bicentennial, a group in Pennsylvania conceived the idea of a wagon train, retracing the westward immigration of the pioneers. The idea proved to be a popular one in all 50 states, and the first wagon train left Oregon in the summer of '75, spending the winter in Wyoming. In the spring of '76, other trains left Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and New England. The train of most interest to those of us in Lyon County left Pasadena, California, January 1st, 1976. Took the California Trail to Yuma, Arizona, the Yuma Trail to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and the old Santa Fe Trail to Independence. At Independence, Missouri, it joined with the Oregon train, moved on barges down the Missouri River, up the Mississippi and Ohio to Pennsylvania, where they began their overland journey to Valley Forge. The Bicentennial Committee of Lyon County conceived the idea of a wagon train moving from Americus, joining with the National Train in Council Grove, and moving to Allen, Kansas. The Bicentennial Committee of EKSC wished to make a television record of that trip. You've just seen the National Wagon Train 3 miles west of Council Grove on a windy Saturday afternoon in April. I'm Dave Matheny, and I'd like to invite you to join us now as we wait with the crowd in Council Grove for the Santa Fe Wagon Train, April 24th, 1976. Why do you come from Dwight to Council Grove to see the wagon train?
I'm interested in the history of this area, the Santa Fe Trail, and the fact that so many people came here in this area about 100 years ago.
Where are you people from?
I'm from Wilsey.
From Wilsey?
Uh-huh.
Are all of these people from Wilsey?
This one is.
Yeah, I am.
And where are you from?
Madison.
Madison. Madison and Wilsey. Where are you from? You know where you live?
Emporia.
You're from Emporia too, huh? Well, welcome to you. What's going to go on here today? What are you waiting for?
Parade.
Parade. Going to see some wagons?
Yeah. Horses and covered wagons. Yeah.
You know how far this wagon train's come?
California.
Yeah.
And it's going complete. Where is it going to, Linda? Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's going to end up there on about the 4th of July, isn't it?
Yeah. Our teacher told us.
She did, huh?
We'll probably get there in time to have fun with it.
Well, I hope so.
Very funny, Brian.
Are you people doing some things in class for the Bicentennial?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, tell me something that you've done.
Well, we made pictures of covered wagons and...
Give me a description of what your covered wagons look like.
Probably about 10 foot long.
Yeah.
And we read some story on ours, on covered wagons.
So you're just expecting to have quite a time here today, huh?
Yeah. Great. 3 horses. Look. One looks like Buffalo Bill Cody. Cody.
What's this group?
Oh, we just got called off on the Indian ring.
Called off?
Yeah, afraid of getting somebody hurt.
What did you have in mind?
Oh,
what
just
was
take
planned?
a few riders off in the wagon.
Uh-huh. So what are your plans now?
Fall in the parade.
Fall in and join the parade.
Yeah, have more fun.
What are you looking forward to seeing on the wagon train?
The horses and the covered wagon. My mother came to Kansas in a covered wagon.
Where did she come from?
Indiana.
After the parade, we went to the fairgrounds where we talked to a number of people. Among the most interesting was Dave Gassman, driving the American Heritage Wagon from Lane County, Oregon. Since 1959, he has been attempting to raise funds to establish a crippled children's ranch, and he hopes to raise some $5,000 through his trip to Valley Forge. He originally started with the Oregon Trail Wagon Train and joined the Santa Fe train at Lyons. He had brought some interesting gifts.
I have a rose bush that Mr. Truman asked me for in 1961. He asked for this rose bush, and then we have one going. The Baptist Church sent we have a rose bush going to the Baptist Seminary at Valley Forge. I also have a 150-year-old rose bush that a lady's been cultivating since her family brought it from Valley Forge 150 years ago, and it's going to the cemetery at Valley Forge.
While the National Wagon Train was slowly crossing the country, the Lyon County Wagon Train was being outfitted at the old market. In March, we went to the market to talk to Wagon Master Dan Zumalt about his preparations. Now, the Lyon County Wagon Train is April 24th, 25th, 26th.
Well, our actual kickoff is April the 24th.
Right. You want to tell us a little bit about those activities?
The kickoff will be centered at some place on the Santa Fe rail, on a side rail. We'll be having the Santa Fe ceremonial car, and our wagons will be pulled down there, and we hope to have a community get-together in the form of a bonfire and marshmallow roast, and hopefully some program by the people of Lyon County.
Right. This will be Saturday night, the 24th.
Right.
Right. And then?
Well, that evening, the National Guard will be moving our wagons on flatbeds up to Americus, where we'll be putting them in the city park for the night and making initial preparations for the wagon train. And a number of the wagon train personnel will spend the night there in the Americus Park, getting ready for Sunday morning, April the 25th, will actually be the staging and the takeoff of our three-day wagon train.
And I think you said that plans for the staging would be about 9 o'clock Sunday morning.
Right, we plan on pulling out at 9.
And tell us about the route.
Well, we'll be leaving Americus and traveling rural roads up through Dunlap and on into Council Grove. And we'll be traveling through the eastern section of Council Grove up to their northeast fairground park, where we'll actually meet the National Wagon Train for a program presented by them and a welcome on their behalf and the community's behalf to us of Lyon County.
All right, and that'll be Monday night.
It'll be Sunday night.
Or Sunday night.
Right.
And then Monday
morning, we'll join with the National leaving there, and there's to be a ribbon-cutting ceremony to commemorate the new highway, recreation of the Santa Fe Trail type thing. And we'll travel as far as the Bushong turnoff. And we'll be going into Bushong that afternoon for lunch. The community of Bushong is going to host both the National and the Lyon County train for a little get-together at their old high school there.
And I think you said that was the oldest school in Lyon County?
Right, the oldest rural high school in Lyon County.
Okay.
After that, we'll be traveling from there on into Allen, and that will be the shortest journey that we will be making any half day. We'll come into Allen. We plan to arrive someplace around 3:30. And the community is planning, well, the community and the county are putting together a program. It's now approaching almost festival proportion.
I know that the primary thing we're going to talk about today, and I expect that you're ready to do that in some detail. What is involved when you start trying to get some wagons to hit the road today?
Well, first it's finding them, and it doesn't seem like it'd be that hard because you tend to see them laying all along the roads. The only problem is the ones that are laying along the roads are just about nothing left but the iron, and rusted iron at that. To find a wagon, like the one that we had shown in the warm-up to this program, which is in considered pretty excellent condition, and in excellent by what manner, I'm really not sure, except that the rest of them are falling apart. It's the one shot of the bolster, that huge beam effect that we were sawing on. You can notice how badly rotted out that was. Well, it's a matter of taking out as much of the rot as you possibly can and replacing it with good oak stock, because the wagons are built from oak. The steel, it's hard to find somebody to work it anymore, but there are a few people around who still do it. And we've been lucky finding one here in Lyon County who can do it.
Right, is that Steve Bryan?
Yeah, Steve, and then we actually have a blacksmith located down in Opie who does that type of work. Steve, incidentally, will be our farrier for the trip, and hoping that we'll have a good time instead of jumping out with these toolbox and keeping the repair on the wagons going.
How long have you been in this initial process?
Well, location and bringing them in and locating parts and that type of thing, I'd probably say 2 months, 2.5 months.
What do you think the prospects are of hitting the trail on the 24th? You going to make the time limit okay, you think?
Definitely going to make it.
Good. On Saturday evening, after our trip to Council Grove, we returned to Emporia to attend the big celebration at the Santa Fe tracks and to view the Lyon County Wagon Train. There was the Santa Fe exhibition car, but no wagons. We hurried to the old market to check on preparations. We're in the old market now. It's Saturday evening, the 24th. The crew's in the final throes of getting the 3 Lyon County wagons ready to go join the Bicentennial train at Council Grove. There have been a few problems, but there are a lot of people working. There's no doubt that the wagons will be ready to roll in the morning from Americus.
Okay. It's about right here on the street reporter.
Yeah. Okay, Dan, it's 10 minutes of 8 on the 24th of April. How are you?
Tired, very tired.
It looks like that the wagons are about ready to go.
They are. We've got the attachment of single trees and double trees, and we've got one more slip tongue to go over a roading tongue. You notice that the tarps are on them and they're decorated out about the same way that they'll look on the road. They'll be torn back down yet this evening, and they'll be moved by the National Guard up to Americus, and then all the tarps will be put back on and tied back down, and we'll be ready to do it.
Professor Barr, how all these people are training?
They did make it to Americus that evening and bedded down about 3 in the morning. A little later, 2 members of our Channel 8 crew who were camping with the wagons heard a commotion. Upon investigating, they discovered that wagon master Dan Zumwalt and one of his crew had locked themselves in the back of their pickup camper. After some debate, they released them. Well, in spite of these problems, everyone was up and ready to roll when we arrived at Americus the next morning. Okay, it's 8:20 on Sunday morning. We're talking to Dan Zumwalt, who's the wagon master for this crew. How are things going?
Real well. Considering the amount of people that are coming together and people with horses and hitches and teams and riders and saddling going on, I think things are progressing very, very well.
We could have had a little better weather for it, but everybody seems to be bundled up okay. Had any problems after you got here this morning that you weren't anticipating?
first time we've tried to stretch this canvas out in any kind of wind at all, and it's a little bit hard to hold down, but I think we got it tacked down pretty tight.
Right. While we're standing here, maybe you could, what's this, is this going to be the lead wagon?
This will be the lead wagon. This is the chuck wagon. It's got the chuck wagon, which is a box that sets into the back. It'll have 4 scouts in it, and the driver who's come up, and his wife.
Okay.
And they'll be the first ones to get there and start serving chow at lunchtime.
Right. And it's sandwiches at lunchtime today,
Right.
I think, and chili tonight, right?
Yeah, I think that chili's going to be well appreciated.
I think they'll be ready for it.
The horse.
You're mounted up now. I see. You ready to go?
He is. I'm not.
He is, but you're not.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
I think he's probably the important one to work on, right?
I think so. I just hope he minds me all day.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
All right.
Sure you don't want one of the dogs?
What kind of food do you take, the chuck wagon?
Tortillas and beans and beans.
What do we got here in the chuck wagon? 150 orange, Crisco oil, free running salt, lots of black pepper, and Fleischmann's yeast.
2 bottles of Tabasco.
And 2 bottles of Tabasco sauce going in the chuck wagon. Very good. What are you going to cook?
We're gonna cook. We're gonna cook chili. We're gonna cook huevos rancheros. We're gonna cook sourdough flapjack. Yeah.
And sourdough flapjacks?
And biscuits.
My God.
Sourdough biscuits.
Where are you going to build the fire?
In the ground.
Tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to cook chili and sourdough pancakes, huh?
Sourdough biscuits.
Your name is Carl Stuvey from Opie, Kansas. And this is your rig, is it, Mr. Stuvey? Have you had this wagon long? Is this old-timer?
My dad had this wagon.
Oh, he did? So it's
back in 1910 and so.
So it's at least that old, huh?
Yeah.
Not older. And these, what kind of horses are these?
Order Belgians.
Belgians, yeah. Well, those are big animals, aren't they? Have you had them long?
Oh, my dad gave me a pair and I raised them.
What do you think about all this?
Oh, I imagine it's a lot of foolishness.
A lot of fun,
expense, but it won't be every year. It'll be something to look back on and talk about.
Yeah.
Spend a lot of time around the table talking about it.
What do you think about all this business?
Oh, I think it's exciting as the devil.
It really is.
Do. I looked forward to this a long time ago.
Have you been planning for it for a long time?
Yeah. I used to work a lot of horses way back, but this morning when we got ready to go, surprisingly enough, I couldn't even figure out how to put that harness on.
Really? You're that excited?
Yeah. And the gentleman over there with the mules owns these horses here too, and he was just been awful good to help me get it going. And then
is this your wagon?
No, this is it belongs in the group, except that the boss and I bought it.
Oh, I see.
And we own this one and that one ahead.
I see. What is your name?
Dick Flood.
Dick Flood.
So at 9:35, the wagon train, under the direction of Wagon Master Dan Zumwalt, gets underway. Their destination is Council Grove, where they'll join with the National Wagon Train sometime this evening. Chuck wagon is leading the way. The next 2 wagons are transportation wagons with people riding on the inside. And there seems to have been a problem with the second wagon, and the wagon train won't be moving out immediately. Well, they got further than I thought they would at that. Trouble with the second wagon has been repaired, and the wagon train's again moving out, heading north for the road to Dunlap. Behind the storage wagon's a Stevie wagon from Olpe. Now we're starting to get some other wagons people have brought to join the wagon train. Wagon from Cottonwood Falls. Riders falling in, riding alongside now. As we sped down the back roads to pass and get in front of the wagon train, we spied a solitary traveler. Don Bailey in his smartly renovated buggy was being drawn by a Morgan who had his own ideas of route and speed. His 8-mile-an-hour pace later proved to be too much for the buggy, and his trip ended at Dunlap. Channel 8 crew was in Dunlap changing a flat tire when the wagon train arrived. The first of the wagons. Chuck wagons pulling over to the side. Wagon, which had the difficulties earlier this morning, has made the trip to Dunlap. Wagon train will pause here in their trip to Council Grove for lunch.
Hey, where's the bologna? Is it back there?
It should be, if it is,
Okay.
Okay, because we need bug juice and bologna and...
We can't make the bug juice till we get there.
No, so it's no sweat. We need bug juice and bologna.
Bologna is back there.
And bread and fruit and cookies. Cookies. The cookies we didn't take out the...
Well, we don't need them now.
We don't need them now. By the time they get... Well, okay, like I said, I'll just pull up right beside you. Now, would you guys like to put that someplace like...
With the horses fed and the people fed, the wagon train left Dunlap and resumed its journey toward Council Grove. Profiting from the morning's experience, the train made excellent time and arrived nearly 1 hour ahead of schedule. Lee Richke, manager of the National Wagon Train, was ready. Channel 8 recorded the rendezvous as Bud Pena, wagon master for the National Train, rode out to meet Dan Zumalt and the Emporia group. Here's Wagon Master Pena now.
Hello, Dan. How are you? Pretty good, sir.
Pleasure to meet you.
Glad to meet you,
Been
sir.
looking forward to this for quite a while, man.
Glad to see you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm glad you brought the wagons on in.
Thank you.
You have a good trip?
A wonderful trip.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Got a bunch of people looking forward to meeting your wagon people, and at least a good couple of days now.
Beautiful. We'll have a good time.
Thank you, and we anticipate it.
If you want to follow me, I'll show you where to put the wagon.
Thank you, sir. Would you please?
So you have the official welcome by Bud Pena, who is the wagon master for the National Train. Lyon County Bicentennial Train is now moving through. Lead wagon's the Chuck wagon with the Explorer Scouts. Terry Crawford talked to Bud Pena about the Lyon County Train. Having had earlier experiences with local groups, Bud was cautious and non-committal.
And sir, you see the Lyon County Train come in, and what do you think of it so far?
Oh, this is great. This is great that the people are getting involved in this. I think it's great.
How do you think the train looks, what do I want to say, stability-wise, I guess?
Well, those wagons there look like they're century wagons. They're not compared to our wagons, but the people enjoy them, and they're the old wagons. I can tell that right now.
Okay, do you think the wagons will be able to make the rest of the trip and stand up to it?
Well, that's hard to say. I haven't really looked them over, but we moved down the road about 4 miles an hour, and this is where some of these wagons like this here might not be able to keep up with us. We don't know yet, but we'll find out tomorrow.
Okay.
Terry next talked to a couple who had sold their ranch and joined the train.
My husband's always been interested in the Old West, and he's always wanted to go on a wagon train trip, but it wasn't until last July that I actually came around to that kind of thinking. And it was, I was just going down the street one day, and I thought, hey, you know, this would be a really neat idea for this bicentennial year. It's been really exciting for me because I've always wanted to see the country, and you can see it so much better with a slow pace. And meeting people, you just get a different viewpoint when you meet people as you go across the country, you see the accents change, you see the style change, and I always thought people were the same in the world around, but they're not.
The Lyon County was fire beds for supper and in preparation for a cold night. Channel 8 crew returned to Emporia for pizza and their warm beds. But we were back in Council Grove at 7 the next morning in time to see the leftover chili used to douse the fires. There was a scene of semi-chaos. Unfortunately, we can't show it to you. There wasn't enough light for our TV cameras. Unknown to the operator, the movie camera malfunctioned, and our 35mm slides didn't develop properly. A 3-system failure. But we did get the comments of Mary Matheny concerning the Sunday night meal.
Tell me all about it, Mary. How did supper go last night?
It went very late.
Very late. How late was very late?
10.
10 o'clock. I'm glad I didn't stay.
I'm glad you didn't either. But those that stayed were happy. Yes.
We're
of course, they'd eat anything.
They'd eat anything by that time.
That's what makes you a good cook.
I see you have some chili left this morning that you're getting rid of. Oh, well, all right. How'd breakfast go this morning?
Fine. On time and everything.
Oh, all right. Well, how's my bologna sandwich for lunch?
Copacetic.
At 8:30, the combined trains moved out to the harness cutting ceremony a mile east of Council Grove, commemorating the opening of a new section of Highway 56, the old Santa Fe Trail.
All right, we're ready to go cut the harness. The wagon train will be moving through. We do want, again, to thank each of you for coming out this morning. So please move back so that the wagon train can form and get headed on down the road to Allen, Kansas.
With the ceremony completed, Bud Pena gave his command.
Wagons roll!
Come over to Bushong ahead of the wagon train. We're looking around the Bushong School, which is in some ways very much like it was when it closed 6 years ago. The building we're in is originally the high school, and we're in the principal's office, and there still sitting on a cabinet are the last 2 trophies. One a grade school basketball trophy from 1954, and the other apparently some kind of a track trophy, grade school from 1964 from Lyon County. And here they are, really kind of voices from the past. As we walk down the stairs from the principal's office, on the wall ahead of us is the honor roll with 3, 6, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 44 blue stars and 3 gold stars. This is apparently the honor roll still on the wall from World War I. And here in the hall, a design of some kind made by the children, still here. And as we walk across and look into the other room here, many of the books still on the shelves, an old calendar on the wall, and typical bulletin board. Across the top of the blackboard, some of the old penmanship signs have fallen down. And written on the blackboard, School of Bushong, Kansas, 66-841, and best.
We're talking to the mayor and the marshal of Bushong. And Mr. Mayor, how do you feel about having the wagon train come through here today?
Well, I think it's going to be a great affair, and it looks like we're going to have a crowd.
Even if you have a crowd, and even if you end up with a little mess.
We'll do something with them.
We will do something with them. Marshal, how do you feel about it?
I think it's wonderful to be a bicentennial town. This is a very historical town that has been quite a history to it. And we're very proud to be a part of this history thing on the bicentennial. And I think it's a wonderful little town. It's growing. We've had more people moving in. And I think it has quite a future.
It has both a past and a future.
It has a past and the future's coming now. And I think it's a wonderful thing to be part of this town.
And I know you don't, I talked to you a little before, and I know you don't say that as a native. What is your background?
I was born in West Virginia and I moved to Washington, D.C. and worked for the government 30 years and retired from the government.
And what job did you do with the government?
I was in the police department.
Police department in Washington, D.C. Now you're in the police department in Bushong, Kansas. That must be quite a change.
Oh, it's wonderful. Yes, wonderful. And there's no rat race here.
Get right on there and smile. Just to move out of the way. And we're coming in now at the, I guess it's not Bud Pena. Yeah. He's not in the lead. And then in the yellow slicker, a few of the outriders coming in from local. Some of them from the Pennsylvania train. And through here now, the first of the wagons, the lead wagon, the Pennsylvania wagon. They're asking for the mayor of Bushong, and he's over here directing the horses. And here come the wagons now. Are you out of the way enough there? They're going to run you over, Terry.
Smell good, Maria.
Here, Pennsylvania wagon, followed by the Kansas wagon. And then coming in with the brown mules, the Colorado wagon. And New Mexico. With a lame horse following along. It'll hold up now. Get Bud Pena coming in. Here comes the wagon master right behind the Arizona wagon. Disappeared right behind the sight on us. And now the California wagon. Bud having a little trouble getting them all going here. And stop right in front of us, the California wagon. Bud Pena still trying to move them down a little. Here we go. We're going to move on a little further. And here we're going to turn off now and run some of the other wagons down the other way. Here comes Pete Weicholt, a little wagon from La Quinta, California. And then the last of the wagons before we come to the lead wagon. And here comes the crew from Lyon County. There's the lead wagon, minus the Morgans that had to be dropped yesterday. And Wagon Master Dan Zumwalt has made it again. I made it again. Positive. All right, Dan.
After lunch for 500, 10 times the normal population of Bushong, and a program highlighted by a performance of a local singing group, the combined trains resumed their journey to Allen. By now, the two trains were well coordinated, and this segment, the shortest half day of the trip, was completed without incident. In town, as in the other communities along the trail, young and old alike eagerly awaited the first sight of the train. For many, It was their best chance to participate actively in a bicentennial event. The Allen community had a surprise for the wagon train, a surprise that was known to most local people, but not to Channel 8's reporter, Loren Pennington.
Jeff's in one of these wagons. Jeff, my boy. He's one of them. I hope he sticks his head out. Here comes the... Uh-oh.
And here comes the holdup. Here comes the holdup. Here comes the holdup. Coming out to hold up the wagon train. And
don't shoot that damn thing.
Here are the desperados. Moving in to relieve them of their money. We're going to relieve Pena of his money now. He's got a large stack of greenbacks. Green fronts, too, it looks like. They've got the saddlebags now. Bud's depositing his money. Under not much protest, it appears. And now the bandits are making off with the loot. Probably to the local saloon or something of the kind. And there they go. And now the wagon train moves forward again. Pena's supposed to look angry, but he looks happy enough.
Come on, boss, get a posse up.
After the parade, Loren Pennington talked to several people in charge of the Allen arrangements. One of them was Don Cheshire.
What do you think this means to the people of Allen?
I'll tell you, it means...
And you can be as sentimental as you want.
Well, I think Buster lives and owns the place up there where the first settler in Lyon County came from. That's where he settled at. And to us, it means quite a bit because they moved this town right down here from up there. And this is good cattle country, good people. And we try to show good hospitality to everybody.
To the Bicentennial Wagon Train pilgrimage, from the people of Pennsylvania to the people of Kansas. And hey, we'd like to dedicate this show to Esther Hatt, because it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Esther.
After a pancake supper that included excellent country sausage, we joined the crowd of over 1,000 that jammed Northern Heights High School for a program that included performances by a group from Pennsylvania State University and by local singers, fiddlers, and pickers from the bicentennial communities. Between performances, scrolls and gifts were presented to Bud Pena by representatives from the communities, including Mayor Ralph E. Daggett of Emporia and President John E. Visser of Emporia, Kansas State College. Lee Richke, manager of the wagon train, ended the ceremony with these remarks.
I'd like to say on behalf of the Bicentennial Wagon Train that we would like to thank you, the people of Allen and Lyon County, for allowing us to spend this evening here with you. Also, the theme of our show is America is people like you and me. And our total message for the wagon train is, happy birthday, America. We love you. Thank you very much.
Tuesday, April 27th, 7:40 a.m., Allen, Kansas. Wagon train getting ready to move out, flags out, time to harness the horses and the rain coming down. And I see Dan Zumwalt over here getting ready to mount up on his horse Cassius, so we'll go over and ask him what the story is this morning. Hi there, Dan. Speak into the microphone.
It's
What's
a
your
beautiful
comment
day.
this morning? You're still optimistic.
Optimistic?
You are going to ride back to Emporia. I heard.
What's this negative?
I heard some rumor to the effect you were going to truck everything back this morning. No truth in that. Well, I heard that down the way. However, one guy told me he was going back with you anyhow.
You betcha. I got good people.
And the wagon train rolling out now. Pennsylvania wagon in the lead. moving out of the Allen schoolyard.
I don't know where they're going.
I don't know which way is the way out of here either. I'm not so sure you should have turned right down there, but I don't know.
They're going to go on the Santa Fe Trail.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, Bud Pena, good luck to you the rest of the way. We hope you have a good trip into Independence.
We will. Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you around. Well, you have to admit, it's quite a sight. When you and I won't see again.
As the national train turned east toward Independence, the Lyon County train moved out south toward home. We picked them up on K-99. And through downtown Emporia, into the old market. Zumalt a gift, a well-deserved and badly needed bar of soap. The wagon wheels are quiet now. The trains have joined their predecessors and become part of the history of the country whose bicentennial they helped celebrate. For those who participated, it was an unforgettable experience. I'm Dave Matheny, speaking for the crew of Channel 8. We want to thank you for reliving the journey with us. We'll see you in 100 years. In the meantime, I think I'll go back to my rocking.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled and followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was singing, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me those golden valleys. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.